Oh, yeah. All right. Man, what a great weekend of boxing. Awesome to be back with y'all once again. Let me make sure y'all can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I got to wait for this to catch. All right, there you go. So you can hear me? For sure you can hear me. Dre's finest in the building. What is good with you, man? Hold on one second. Think that'll get it. Let me see. Yeah, good. Close enough. Close enough. What's going on, Dre's finest? JC in the building. Cass in the building. What's going on, man? Shout out to the entire LDBC. What is good with y'all? Fast Lane Jones in the building. What's going on? Rasul Sabor. What's going on, man? Peace and blessings to you as well. And thank you. I appreciate that. Keep up the phenomenal job. Thank you, man. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the channel right now, man. Y'all might be caught up watching videos. Mr. KKC says Charlo's new names are Thunder and Lightning. Hey, man, they on top of it, dog. They on top of it, man. They on top of it. Straight up. They're on top of it, dude. They're on top of it. I can't wait to talk about these dudes in depth. What a spectacular performance. Went back and watched, I'm watching the fights over again. The more I look at it, the better I think that Jermell Charlo is. The better I think Jermall Charlo is. And this is the first time where I've seen a pay-per-view, and seriously, I don't want to hear anybody talk about the numbers. If somebody didn't buy that fight, they missed out. Straight up. This is a time when the numbers will lie. Okay? Because it was such a great value that I feel like I got over. And the next time somebody asks for $75 for a pay-per-view that looks like that, y'all better pay that $75. Okay? You know it was worth every penny of that $75. Excellent boxers, dude. Jermell looked terrific. Jermall looked terrific. You got to see fights like Daniel Roman. You got to see, and a lot of the fighters that, people say, aren't really featured a lot of little guys, right where little guys need to be. Those little guys were right where they needed to be on the undercard. On the undercard. However, exciting fights on the undercard made room for and just absolutely terrific fights on the main for the main events, for the co-main events. And I'm excited about it. I can't wait to talk about it, man. Dave Williams said, thanks for being you. Much love in that super chat, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Man. Yeah, Wayne J said that was a great value and a great pay-per-view. Marcus Dale said, I paid for that. They worth it. Yes, sir. Hamad S says, salute for 9. Yes, sir. What's going on, Big Willie from Youngstown? That's what Willie Wilson said. What's going on, Willie Wilson? Much love in that super chat. The Gregor X said, double pay-per-view. It was well worth my dollar. Oh, dude, look, man. Without a doubt, it was worth every penny. And again, I'm telling you right now, anybody complains about the number that pay-per-view does in the middle of a pandemic needs to be like, look, dude, that's just because people because people been getting tricked about what the good fights are. Dude, those were great fights, dude. Great fights. Great fights. Everybody on those cards performed, man. And it didn't even make a difference. It didn't even make a difference that there was no crowd there. It made no difference whether there was a crowd there or not. The only difference that there were some positives about it not being a crowd there for sure. It was a positive. There was positives for that for sure. Because number one, that it's just the sport that you loved about that. That wasn't a lot of hype, dude. That was just a great fight. That was just a great fight. Tunnel Vision said, Fannon, why are you trying to get Crawford killed? Why? No. Terence Crawford is the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Terence Crawford is the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. How could I be trying to get him killed by moving up one weight class to fight for all the belts? Come on, dog. It's not like Gary Russell Jr. or something. It's not like Gary Russell Jr. or something. Little dude that doesn't have a chance. No, dog. Stop clout chasing for Bud. Hey, Jeffy Chase, come out. How can I be clout chasing for Bud? That is a real fight, dude. That fight should be made. He is the WBO 147-pound dude. He could be going for a championship in his 4th division. And all he's got to do is beat Teixeira and go right to Jermell, because Jermell Charlo has already cleared out the entire division. That is perfect. That is perfect fight to cap off, dog, the that's for number 1 pound for pound. You know how you can market, how much money you can make marketing that? That whoever wins that fight is the number 1 pound for pound. It'd be like Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev, dog. Man, that is a great fight. I don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all out here bugging. Shoot. What are you talking about? That's a great fight. That's a great fight. Exactly. Ali Bin Khan. Where's it at, dog? And so much love in that super chat for Dave Williams. Much love in that super chat for Gregory X. Where's that comment, man? Where's that comment? Where'd y'all go with that crazy comment, dog? Fannon, you played chess, my brother. Hey, yeah, I played chess. But that's perfect, dude. That's perfect. Dude, that is perfect. Perfect fight. Dana Jones said, what's good, Dana Jones in the building, man? He said, I watched it over my Mexican friend's house on ESPN Vivo for free because it was free in Mexico. Dang, you got over, dog. That ain't even right, dog. But hey, man, how'd you like that fight, Dana Jones? Hey, but you got paid for the fight if you watched it on you didn't watch it for free. They got to pay the fee for that. So, hey, man, they's out there making that money. Kanan trying to get Bud killed. No, I'm not. I'm trying to get him a great fight, dog. That's a great fight for Bud. Dog, you don't think that Bud has a chance against Jermell? Why y'all underestimating Bud like that, man? Now, for real, where's Drink More Water? I'm advocating for Bud to be an all-time great. That's some Roberto Duran shit. If he can go up there and beat Jermell, that's some shit right there, dog. That is some shit right there. It's just one weight class, dog. It's just one weight class. Why don't y'all believe in Bud, man? I'm ashamed for y'all, man. I'm ashamed for y'all. What's going on? Thrill Hill in the building, man. What's going on? Fannon, I said Crawford should move up to super. Where'd it go? Okay, yeah, here it goes. Fannon, I said Crawford should move up to super welterweight and fight Patrick Teixeira. Then he can fight Jermell for undisputed number 1 pound for. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. I can't think of a better situation for Bud and for Jermell. Because look, first of all, who does Jermell have to fight? Who does Jermell have to fight now? Teixeira. He has Teixeira to fight. Everybody else and Lara. And Lara. Come on, man. Lara ain't no Terence Crawford fight. Dude, that's Terence Crawford's pay-per-view right now. Terence gets pay-per-view right now. Goes for number 1 pound for pound. Errol can't do it because that's his boy, and he's got to get the 3rd belt. Shoot, it cuts him in line. It cuts him in line, dog. You understand? He's the fucking man if he beats Jermell Charlo. If he beats Jermell Charlo, he's the fucking man. He would be undisputed at 154 and 140. That is some legendary shit. That is some legendary shit. Why don't y'all want Bud to do legendary shit? No better time than the present. He got a better chance than Mikey Garcia. Had against Errol Spence. Come on, man. Bud, dare to be great. Dare to be great. This is the perfect fight for him, man. It's the perfect fight. And there's no hurdles. It's no hurdles. They'll pay the pay-per-view. You know they'll pay the pay-per-view. Showtime would put up the money, dog. Fox would put up the money. ESPN would match that money. Come on, man. With Jermell, what? 154, all he got to do is get Teixeira, beat Teixeira. Look, that's faster because Manny Pacquiao's not going to be fighting Errol Spence. Manny's not going to be fighting Errol Spence. Manny Pacquiao's about to go run off and fight Conor McGregor and act like he's donating a bunch of money. You know what I mean? Come on, man. And then he's going to come back and fight Mikey. That WBA is a ways away. That's a ways away. The shortest line to Undisputed runs through Teixeira right to Jermell Charlo. Jermell don't have to fight nobody at 154. Everybody's already been busted up. Everybody's wounded ducks. It's been a battle at 154. Everybody's coming off getting beat up. Jared Hurd is repairing his ego. You know, Erickson Lubin's is on repair from his ego, getting busted by getting knocked out. You know, Jared Hurd got beat up by J-Rock. J-Rock got knocked out and beat up by Jason Rosario. Jason Rosario just got stiff jab to the gut. Oh, I'm sorry, but it was just, that was the nastiest, craziest, just destroyed that boy type of knockout from Jermell, man. Jermell's the fucking man, dog. Lara lost to Hurd. Jermell's the man. The only person you might be able to say is maybe Castano, but Castano drew with Lara. Dog, he's already swept out the entire division, dog. He just killed off the entire 154. That's why he must be pound for pound. He must be pound for pound. Y'all gotta be, come on, man. Ain't nobody with 3 divisions. No 3 belt holder that is not, that regardless, other than that is maybe not a heavyweight. Even then they had Anthony Joshua on them damn lists. But he ain't no heavyweight. Dog, he knocked out the only dude that beat him. Then he just beat up Jason Rosario, something beautiful. It was brutal. It was just devastating. Come on, man. Come on. To have Terence Crawford go fight him, I don't understand how anybody cannot be calling for that. All right? That's better than Sean Porter. That's better than Keith Thurman. That's better than everybody. That's his best option. Is Jermell. And get him. Come on, dog. He's better than Jermell. You can do it, bud. You can do it. You can do it, bud. You can do it. You can do it, bud. You can do it. Duran did it. Hell yeah, Duran did it. Your mama side, G said, it's going to be another Canelo, Khan versus Canelo. Nah, dog, come on. Come on, man. Bud is not, see, y'all underestimating Bud, man. What about Bud being pound for pound #1 fighter in the world? He started his career at 140, for real. He starved down to 135, dog. They say he's a legitimate welterweight. That's what everybody say. I don't see Drink More Water nowhere around here, though. I don't see niggas nowhere around here today. Where my Bud fans at? I'm not, what are you saying? I'm trying to get Bud murdered. I'm trying to get him the biggest fight of his career. And it's one weight division. It's just one weight division. Yes, Hagler Hearns. Oops. Come on, man. Nah, dog, that shit could be Leonard Hearns, man. That shit could be Leonard Hagler, man. That shit could be Leonard Hagler. He can pepper him and stay away the whole fight, man. You know, he can stay away from Jermell. Where he said, Fannon, you don't want to see Jared Hurd and Charlo for Bud and Charlo. Hell no. Not even remote. Not even remotely. No way, not even close to that. Look, man, I don't understand why you guys are resisting this. The Crazy Bro said Fannon will get Bud killed. Damn, y'all don't have any faith in Bud? L's lowest common denominator, home of the demographic, says Fannon, no Drink More Water or wool bag. I think Bud let him down. Dog, seriously, if somebody don't come out here and speak up for Bud, I got to take him out of the pound for pound right now. Hey, seriously, if y'all don't think he's got a shot against Jermell, I'm shocked. He's got a shot against Jermell. He's better than Jason Rosario. He's a much more well-rounded fighter than Jason Rosario. Much more athletic, much faster hands. Come on, man. Multi-dimensional fighter. He's number one pound for pound. Manny Pacquiao moved up those weight classes. See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all don't have faith in the black man. Y'all do not have faith in the black man. I'm telling you, my brothers, you guys do not have faith in the black man. You do not believe this man can move up and do the same thing that Roberto Duran did and Pernell Whitaker. How far did Pernell Whitaker move up to? He went from lightweight to what? To 147. He went to 3 weight classes, right? Oscar De La Hoya. Oh, man, Oscar De La Hoya went up, what, like 5 or something? Come on. And he fought Hagler. He fought Bernard Hopkins. You got to get a man his time, man. Carl Brown said, yo, Bud fans saying all he want is champs. And Bud fans saying all he wants is champs, right? But all we see is his bum collection. Yeah, and he's a champion. Stop it. That's Errol's food. Nah, dude, that's Errol's boy. That ain't Errol's food. That's Errol's boy. Errol ain't going to be fighting Jermell Charlo because that's his boy for real. They're in the same training camp. What's going to happen with them is Jermall is going to move up to 168 and beat the piss out your boy, Caleb Plant. Okay? Get ready for it, dog. Okay? Get ready for it. I saw it. He's going to get Caleb Plant, homie. He's going to get Caleb Plant. He's going to pop up. He's going to pop Caleb Plant something fierce. Remember I said that. Remember I said that. Dude, that boy is like that. Jermall is like that. Like that. Can't wait to talk about Jermall. But yeah. They don't want that, man. Much love in that super chat, man. But that's not Errol's food because that's his boy. That's not Errol's food. Oscar Will Yite in the building, man. Welcome to the chat. I'm not sure if I've seen your name before, man, but welcome. Nah, man, that's some old bullshit right there, dog. Because they train in the same camp, and they're not going to fight each other. When Jermall moves to 168, that's when Jermell will go to 160 and dominate 160. Them boys getting their ass whooped in 160 by Jermell too. Okay, because Jermell is, it might be the better Charlo, dog. Like, it's crazy. Both them boys cold like that, man. But then from there, Errol Spence will move to 154. And then Errol Spence Jr. will be, and then, 147 will be what 147 is. But Jermell would have left already. Jermell already got it cleaned out. All he needs is for Terence Crawford to get that WBO belt. And those guys have a massive pay-per-view fight with Jermell and Terence Crawford. And if Terence Crawford beats Jermell Charlo, dog, you know what's up. Then comes the Errol Spence Jr. fight for sure. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom. That's big money for Terence. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Why wouldn't Top Rank want to do that? That's 3 fights. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, pop, pop. If he gets to share, which you know he will, for the WBO shot, then he gets Jermell. If he gets past Jermell, then he gets Errol Spence. And he's the man. And he's the man. And he can move down to 147 or he can have it at 154. Either way, he'd be the man. It bypasses the whole thing. While Errol does his whole thing. It gives Bud something to do. Because right now, Bud ain't got shit to do. It's Friday. He ain't got no job. He ain't got shit to do. What's he going to do? Kell Brook, they don't want to air the Kell Brook fight in the UK because they're like, fuck Terence Crawford and Kell Brook and Top Rank. You know what I'm saying? And Josh Taylor, who fighting whoever that dude's name was. And then what's the other fight that they're not taking? Lomachenko versus they're not taking Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez either. Sky and BT aren't buying any of that. So, dog, the Kell Brook looks like it's ant money. And if he fights Egis Kalvanakis, dog, seriously, the reputation takes a monstrous blow. So if he moves up, he becomes a 4-division champion with Teixeira. Boom. That's 4 divisions. He's the shit, right? 4-division champion. Hall of Fame for sure. Then he fights Jermell for all the belts. That fight could be as big the way Jermell just did. That shit fight might be big as dang near as big as Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Jermell and Terence Crawford. And if he gets by Jermell, oh shit. First of all, you could just call his ass Marvin fucking Hagler or some shit like that, because that's a legendary ass feat that he would have pulled off. Legendary, dog. Legendary. To go, if he did that, dog, nobody could ever say he didn't fight somebody that was competition. For real, nobody could ever say that. It corrects all doubt about Bud. If he goes in there and beats him, then shit, he's better than Pacquiao. Better than all these dudes. If you beat Errol too, dog, come on, man. That's just him. He's the fucking man. So I want to understand how I'm trying to get Bud killed while I'm trying to get Bud. Bud has an opening now. See, everything has its benefits, man. Man, dude, that was such a successful card that it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter how much it sold. It was just such a good card that everybody that saw that was like, those were great fights. That was a great card. The matchup was a little funny, but dude, then people, if you can do that, then people can buy it based on the fact that they know it's worth it. And the media has got to admit it was worth it. All you media people, you better come out and write your shit and admit that fight was worth every bit of that $75, especially when we spent money like dang near the same amount of money with Canelo Alvarez versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and whose undercard was what was it? David Lemieux versus some dude that got beat half to death, all bloody and terrible fight. All these one fight pay-per-views that we watch, that was way worth it. Bud, you can do it too, man. You can do it too. You can fix the pay-per-view jinx. I'm seeing at least 500,000 pay-per-view buys out that fight, man. Seeing at least 500,000 for Jermell and Terence Crawford, dog. At least 500,000. At least. At least. You bring everybody black from everywhere to watch that fight, man. You gotta admit it. It's brilliant. Okay? This shit is brilliant. And I don't care. I'm calling it myself. That shit's brilliant. He need to take that fucking fight, dog. You need to ask for that fight. You need to get that fight, bud. Okay? Because if you lose, you go to Mikey Garcia status. Who cares? The Errol Spence Jr. fight is still there anyway. You still get paid. You still get paid. Trying to tell you. Trying to told you. Trying to tit-old you. Isaiah Jones said, that's the best boxing joke I've heard in 2020. Charlo will dog walk Bud. Hey, man. See, there you guys go. Always trying to prevent people from getting fights, man. Jamark McKinney, man, much love in that super chat, man. I don't think I can see the sticker. Okay, said, cool. Thank you, man. And then Isaiah Jones, I see Isaiah Jones after it said, that's the best boxing joke in 2020. I will dog, but see how you do? See how you do? Hey, Jamark McKinney, much love in that super chat. Thank you so much. And I think that I caught up, man. What's going on, Stay Ready Boxing? Ricardo Medina said, Fannon, stop it, man. Bud needs to stop dunking at 147 before he gets to 154. Okay. Ricardo Medina. Look, man, who is he going to fight next, Ricardo? Let's walk through this. Who's he going to fight next? Terence Crawford. I like how you tried to punk me in your little video. Dog, I don't know who the fuck you are. Number one. Okay. So I don't know about nobody's little video, and get the fuck out. Fuck you and your $5. Okay. I don't even know who you are. I guarantee you I didn't diss nobody in the video. It's called Mosquito. Okay. Fuck out of here. However, I did learn something today, which is if you spray lavender on your skin, mosquitoes don't bite you. Okay, so consider that you getting tossed out and me spraying your mosquito ass with some lavender. Ain't that crazy? Lavender gets rid of mosquitoes. Amazing. Spray lavender oil, got this mist like lavender mist. Mosquitoes, bugs didn't come anywhere near me. And I smelled good at the same time. Crazy. Anyway, yeah, get up out of here, dog. With all of that dumb shit you talking about, dog. So, somebody says it is brilliant, but Bud don't want it. Dog, look, man. You have to call for it. He can't keep saying no to everything, okay? He can't keep saying no to everything. We've got to find solutions for Terence Crawford to overcome this thing about Errol Spence Jr. having to clear out his side of the street, right? Isn't that what everybody said the problem is? That he's got to clear out his side of the street, and the PBC has all these fights that they can make, which is worth just as much money as the Terence Crawford fight? Isn't that what we've been saying? It is. It is. So by going to 154, he sidesteps all that shit because there's no real fights to be made at 154 that are better than a Terence Crawford fight. He's the best fight at 154 for Jermell. Jermell will not get paid any more money for fighting anybody, more than he would get for fighting Terence Crawford, with the exception of like his brother or something, or you know what I mean, or even like a Canelo fight. But Jermell ain't getting no Canelo fight. Canelo busy ducking Jermall. No, he ain't fighting Jermell, dog. And we can end this question, dude. Those the baddest fucking twins. Them twins is something fierce, man. Them boys can fight, man. Yes, sir. So, yeah, man, make the fight, dude. Make the fight. I don't see any reason not to. For Bud, not if Bud don't want that fight, dog, just look, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful plan, man. Bob Arum, make the fight, man. Come on, dog. That's worth the money. Teixeira is a championship fight right there. Okay? It's right there. It's not a rerun of Igis Kalvanakis, and it's not Kell Brook. It's better because he's moving up another weight division. Okay, and he can hold his WBO. Just petition him to let him hold both. If he went and got the WBO from Teixeira and Jermell didn't want to fight him, he could come back down to 147 or he can stay at 154. Petition him to allow him to keep both. Make him a fucking WBO super champion, you know, or franchise champion for the WBO. Give him a little Canelo treatment. Dog, Jermell is a good fight for him, man. And it should be able to be made. Should be able to be made. Said for 9, let Bud get to Teixeira and then fight Hurd. No. Hell no. Hurd? Hell no. Jared Hurd, sit your ass over there and find out how not to defend with your face. Okay? No. We need Undisputed. And this Undisputed can work because the PBC is not going to get the WBO without either Top Rank or Golden Boy. Okay? In order to get that, they need a Top Rank fighter or a Golden Boy fighter, right? Top Teixeira is a Golden Boy fighter, and Terence Crawford is a Top Rank fighter. If they can fight, they make fights all the time. That shit can be on ESPN. That shit can be on ESPN easy. Easy. He beats him, it's a 4th divisional championship. And it sets him up for an immediate fight for Undisputed. Come on, man. You need it for Bud's career, man. Come on, Bud. because you know Errol Spence got such a rough route to get through, and they're saying you really ain't worth the money because you know Sean Porter is going to make a lot of money for Errol. When Errol gets past Danny Garcia, which is a lot of money, then he has another fight with Sean Porter, which is going to be worth even more money than the first one was. And then after that, if Keith Thurman is on a winning streak, he's going to be able to fight Keith Thurman, which is again going to be a bunch of money. It's just, dude, it's a long ass line over there. It's a long ass line in that money train that Errol Spence got lined up at 147. And if Errol doesn't win a fight, then it's all gone. Take your ass over there to Teixeira. You said you might do it anyway. They were talking about it. He said it before. This is not something, I didn't bring this up and just make up the idea. Somebody mentioned this before. That's why I did the video about it, about Jermell and Terence. This ain't an original conversation, but it just came to some serious fruition with the dominant performance of Jermell. There's nobody in 154 that can breathe on that dude, man. I don't believe it. I think he waxes everybody straight up and down. Think Hurd goes to sleep. Hurd goes to sleep. Nap time, baby. Nap time. Flat on the face. Make the Terence Crawford fight, man. Make the Terence Crawford fight. But Team Spence to this day. Wildest voice, man. Thank you, Jamark McKinney. Much love in that super chat. Thank you for the support, man. So, yeah, y'all can get the likes up. Let's take a second. Let me get a sip of my water. TK7 says straight facts. Only problem now is Bud ain't beating Mel. Ooh, he's the underdog. But that's what we need. Does Bud feel like he's the underdog? Somebody get Bernie the boxer and ask if Bud feels like he's the underdog. If Bud don't feel like he's the underdog, fuck it. Make it happen. He ain't no bigger underdog than Gary Russell Jr. was to him. Come on, man. Gary Russell Jr. said he wanted that smoke with Terence Crawford. And that's 126 to 147. This is 147. This is 147 to 154. According to if you ask Terence Crawford, who's the number one welterweight in the world? Who do you think Terence Crawford would say? He would say Terence Crawford. If Errol Spence Jr., if Errol Spence Jr. was not in consideration, who would they say is the best welterweight? Terence Crawford. So shit, the best welterweight versus the best 154 pounder? That's perfect. Especially since both of them are top 5 pound for pound. And I don't want to hear no more dumb shit. Okay? I told you. You cannot tell me that Estrada and Inoue and Gennady Golovkin and all those other dudes who are not named Terence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr., Canelo Alvarez, or Terence Crawford have shit to say about Jermell Charlo. He's better than everybody else, for sure. He's better than Manny Pacquiao, man. Better than Gennady Golovkin. He's better than Juan Carlos Estrada. He's better than Monster Inoue. He's better than these dudes, man. And I told you, and you saw it in that fight. Who the fuck knocked somebody out with a body shot to the stomach? Do you know how much of an ass whooping he put on Jason Rosario to make his body behave like that? For 3 belts. This is the dude the Jason Rosario that walked through J-Rock. Walked through J-Rock. And did you see how nasty he was, how he did it to him? Did you see how he whooped him? How he was whooping him? Dude, for real. Jermell was just whooping him. The round, like 2 rounds before he stopped him. And then he just stopped. Like at the end of the round, it looked like he had Jason Rosario about ready to go. And then he came out the next round and he didn't even press. He didn't even press him. He just went back to jab, bop, 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 in the jab, bop. Just that jab was nasty. Just did him, just relax, just walked him around, let Jason Rosario follow him around, caught him here, pot shot at him here, pot shot at him there. Let him sit down, let him absorb all of that. Got out for the next round, threw one punch to the up, the next one down, deflected, boot, right on the belly button, right below the belly button. The dude laid. Who have you seen lay somebody out look like that? Laid out just like, and shit was crazy, dude. That wasn't even a liver shot. Man, that wasn't so, oh man, come on. Come on, dog. That was a masterful performance. That was a master class from Jermell Charlo, man. A master class. So now that you saw that master class that boy put on, go ahead and put him up there with them 3 belts. He's got the ring. He's got the ring, right? He's the lineal. He's got the ring. He's got the WBA. He's got the WBC. He's got the IBF. That's better than all them dudes that are on that pound for pound list. Got to make room for another black man. Sorry, got to move him up. Got to move him up. You can't even pretend like you can't move, like he doesn't get moved up. Got to move him up. Got to. Mikey Garcia was on that list. Mikey Garcia ain't never had a win like that. Never held 3 major belts. Never held 3 major belts. Completely cleared out a division that was stacked. Neither did Chocolatito, and he was number 1. Gennady Golovkin held 3 belts. That's why you put him there, right? Since he has 3 belts. He's the WBA, the WBC, the IBF. Well, there you go. So is Jermell Charlo. Put his ass up in there. And he's that right now. So demote Jermell. Demote Gennady Golovkin. Now, something else these media people said, man, I got to go on to talk about this, dog. I saw something today. I saw something yesterday that just had me chuckling. They had the desperation on y'all. This dude said, let me get to Dana Jones first. Much love in that super chat. Dana Jones said, it wasn't that long ago Bud and his trainer said they couldn't get any big fights at 147. He'd fight at 154. Plus that pay-per-view money hits there different. Yes, absolutely. And it is a 50-50 payday. It's 50-50. He ain't got to worry about 60-40, none of that. It's 50-50 straight up and down. And it would be for his second division for Undisputed. All he's got to do is beat Teixeira. Dude, that's legendary shit out of Bud, man. Legendary shit that people don't think he can do. So show who you are, dog. Show who you are. Don't sit back and say, nah, that ain't my plan. I got something better to do. You ain't got shit better to do than that. All right? You ain't got shit better to do than that. It's better than any plan you got. All you got to do is be the person that you say you are. Because if you as bad as you say you are, you'll get it done. Wouldn't he? If Terence Crawford is what they said about Terence Crawford is true last week, and what they said about Jermell Charlo last week was true before this fight, because Jermell was the same dude 3 weeks ago that he is today. When I was tolding you that he should be on that pound for pound list. Right now, top 4. Top 4, nothing less than number 4, which means you got to get some shit right. You got to move Errol up. You got to move Terence up. You got to bounce somebody. But what you're going to do, you're going to put him in number 5? Or how are you going to figure it out? You're going to move Errol down because he's only got 2? Or you're going to get rid of Terence Crawford, who's already been undisputed? You can't keep all 4 of them Negroes go on. Okay? That's right. all four of them Negroes go on. And you should be putting Jermall over there because they ducking. Now y'all also got to see that they ducking Jermall. That ain't no shit about, oh, well, who knows him? No, you saw what he did to Deverenchenko, and that's the point I was going to make about what these dudes in this media said. Joshua Tabak said, makes perfect sense. Bud claims he only wants to fight for belts. Jermell has 3 or 4 if you count the ring of them. Make it happen, please. Yes, and that ring shit that people talk about. It's perfect. It's perfect. Perfect fight. Make the fight. ESPN would pay for that. That is better than Vasily Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez. Better than that. It's better than that. It's better than almost every fight at 147. It's better than Sean Porter. That's a better fight, a bigger fight for Bud than Sean Porter. It's a bigger fight. It's all but Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence. Because dude just did pay-per-view and it was so worth it. And it was so worth it. And it was so worth it. He's going to have people, if they do that same model again, people are going to pay more. People are going to buy next time. Because it was 2 evenings of fights. It was like, and I wish I would have understood that that's what they were doing. But, dude, it allowed you to, it was just a great card, man. It's just a great card. Bud can get that money, but Jermall, look what these guys said about Jermall. That Jermell Charlo was getting too much credit for the fight against Sergey Derevyanchenko because he only did a slightly better job of beating Deverenchenko than a 37-year-old Gennady Golovkin did. And then Dougie Fisher, who's the editor of Ring Magazine, co-signed it. It was like, absolutely, or something like that. And I'm like, are you serious? First of all, let's evaluate this. Jermall Charlo right now is the best middleweight in the world. Shut the fuck up with anything else you guys is talking. He's the best middleweight in the world right now because of the way he beat Deverenchenko. Because number one, he whooped his ass much more savagely and completely than Daniel Jacobs, who, by the way, was a sparring partner of Deverenchenko and knew exactly how Deverenchenko fought before he even got in the ring. But he didn't have Deverenchenko's face look like a clown mask. He didn't have his face ripped up here, both eyes dang near closed, and have him like, dude, having to prove he got a chin. Because, dude, that dude got a chin. If it was not for his chin, his ass would have been gone up out of there. Been up out of there, dude. That dude was getting his ass beat badly. Way worse than Daniel Jacobs beat him. And way worse than Gennady Golovkin did. Not marginally worse, despite the fact that Al Bernstein was out there cheerleading for him the entire time. But sorry, there's not enough stuff now in these matches to distract people, and they can actually hear the punches, right? They don't hear the crowd. They hear the punches, right? No, dog, your boy got his ass whooped, thoroughly whooped. And so that's better than Daniel Jacobs. That's better than Gennady Golovkin did. And Canelo ducked him. Ducked him. That was Canelo's IBF mandatory. And he ducked him and made Gennady Golovkin fight him. And Gennady Golovkin almost lost to him. And some people think Gennady Golovkin did lose to him. So listen to that again. That's why Jermall Charlo is still my idea. I know y'all going to do it. Fucking makes me sick, but go ahead and do it. That's why Jermall Charlo is the best middleweight right now. And the only other person that could be in that argument is Demetrius Andrade, but Demetrius Andrade did not beat Sergey Deverenchenko. So holla, you ain't fought nobody. You fought Maurice Selecki and somebody else. Went the distance with Maurice Selecki. Fuck out of here. You know what I mean? No. It's Jermall because he beat Deverenchenko beat him better than Daniel Jacobs did, beat him much worse than Gennady Golovkin did, and Canelo ducked him. And Jermall didn't even have to take him, as he wasn't even a mandatory fight. He took him as a voluntary. He didn't do what Canelo did with him and go to a franchise champion or threaten to drop the belt if you made him fight. No, he was like, Derevchenko's my mandatory. Don't do WBC. Don't even waste your time. You don't have to order the mandatory. I'm taking that shit as a voluntary. Yeah. I'll take the number one dude. Give me him. And beat the piss out of him. The piss out of him. It was worse than if it was a knockout. Like just an instant knockout or something. Because then you could have been like, oh, he was damaged. No. He boxed the piss out that boy. Did whatever he wanted to do, did what he wanted to do, and Derevchenko was fighting his heart out, man. He didn't look like he was a diminished fighter. He was very active. He was taking shots, clean shots. His reflexes looked good. He looked every bit as good as he did physically as he did with Gennady Golovkin and Jacobs. Shit, he only got like 13 fights. And it ain't like he got knocked out by either one of those dudes. So he was just as good, but he got his ass whooped. Jermall is the number one dude at welterweight. You need to put his ass on there too. Because Gennady Golovkin's ass is on there. Fuck Gennady Golovkin on there for. People think Gennady Golovkin lost to Derevchenko. And he did lose to Canelo. And he's 37. Just like the dude said, and at 37, he did slightly better than a 37-year-old Gennady Golovkin. Well, shit. If Gennady Golovkin is 30, you mean Gennady Golovkin's diminished? Is that what you're trying to say by bringing up the fact that Gennady Golovkin was 37 when people thought he lost to Derevchenko? Well, if that's the case, get his ass off the pound-for-pound list. He's a diminished fucking fighter. He's either a top 10 fighter in all of boxing, or he's old and he's not. You can't have it both ways. You can't say he's both, a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter and he's an old, diminished fighter. Get the fuck out of here. He did better. Jermell Charlo did better against Derevchenko than a guy that is currently in the top 10 pound for pound by all of the quote unquote official, not official, but mainstream lists that have Gennady Golovkin in there. And Canelo Alvarez in there. Canelo Alvarez ducked that man and got stripped of the IBF belt. Hell no, he's not the top middleweight. He don't even want to act like he want to fight at middleweight. He out there farting around talking he's at 168 and maybe I'll do 175. Maybe I'll do 162.5. Whatever Canelo decides Canelo's going to do today that is not going to add anything to the middleweight division. It's a fucking shame he still has the WBA belt. They need to fucking strip him from that. Who the fuck is he going to fight for his WBA belt? Or is he just going to go fight at 168 and they're just going to let him continue to hold that 160 WBA belt that he ain't defended in yet? He ain't defended yet. I don't believe. Because who did he get against? Daniel Jacobs? Did he get it against Daniel Jacobs? But you get my point. Man, it was a great weekend of boxing, man. Obasi said, I said before the fight, if Charlo beats Derevchenko convincingly, people should finally give him props. Derevchenko can fight lions only. Yes, sir. Yes, but they don't want to give him too much props. He's the best middleweight, man. I would favor him against Gennady Golovkin. I favor him against Demetrius Andrade. I favor him against anybody at 160. Dude, that guy is so damn big. And that jab, left hand, is ridiculous. Dog, his left hand he can beat you with his left hand. Between that jab and hooking off the jab, the hooks to the body and the uppercut, dude, it's like his biggest punch, which is the straight right, isn't really even that much bigger than any of his other punches. It's like you think like he's he's looking to set up that straight right hand. Shit, Jermell Charlo can knock you out with a lead left hook. He looked like he can knock you out with a jab. He can definitely buzz you and concuss you with a jab. And with an uppercut, left-handed and right-handed uppercut, he can dog, man, come on. That dude is a complete fighter. And then you see how he fought in the inside and fought off the ropes, and he can take a punch too. Because he stood his ground with Demetrius Derevyanchenko. Stood his ground. This dude is coming forward and he's not moving back too much. He's like, yeah, come on. Come get that ass knocked out. And Derevyanchenko, man, hey, credit to him. Credit to him. But dude, the Charlo brothers are the best two. They run 147 to 168. I mean, from 154 to 160. Them Charlo brothers run that, dog. They run that. And Canelo got to prove something. Straight up, you got to prove something. That's not an alcoholic Kovalev that's been knocked out 3 times, dog, and don't really think he got a chance to win. Okay, that's not Kovalev. He's a better fighter than Sergey Kovalev. Much, much more complete fighter than Sergey Kovalev. Many more weapons than Sergey Kovalev. Better chin than Kovalev. More athletic than Kovalev. Fights better on the back foot than Kovalev. Charlo's all around better fighter than Sergey Kovalev. He's an all-around better fighter than Rocky Fielding for sure. And he's all-around better fighter than Gennady Golovkin. When it looks like just as much power. Maybe not as heavy a right hand, but maybe not as heavy as of a straight right hand. But dude, that left hook, that jab, every bit the jab. Up jab and no matter what the level of the jab. That hook off the jab is ugly. Those uppercuts, once you get inside, his left uppercut and right uppercut, that's that shit he knocked that dude head over heels over. And he's big. You're not even going to be bigger than him. He's different too. He looked like he weighed 180 in the ring, dog. He looked like a solid 175, man. You can't tell me that dude did not weigh 175 in that ring. That was not a light heavyweight that was busting that dude up. Nah, at 160, Jermell Charlo is it at 160, dude. Jermall Charlo, excuse me. Mr. Mon said, did you see Jermall? Did you hear that Jermall convinced Sergey Derevyanchenko and his team that he belongs at 154 after that beating? I can believe it, yeah. Take your little ass back down over there, dog. You're too little. Yeah, he is. He does need to be at 154. He's like, nah, dog, you get not with me. Going down there at 154, get Jermell to beat you up. But, dog, he don't want no Jermell either. Sergey don't want none, near. What's that word? Near, none, near. He don't want none, near. He don't want nothing near, no parts of Jermell Charlo either. Sergey Derevyanchenko might get dog. Jermell. Go ahead and fight Crawford. Yeah. Somebody said Crawford. Yeah, again, I say Crawford. Yeah, fight Crawford. Absolutely, dude. Fight Crawford. Get the money. That money is the best. People say it's a business. It's a business. Well, shit, if it's a business, make the business. You can't tell me that that's not a good fight. That's not the best option for both of them in the short term. It's the best option for both of them. The Teixeira fight, Teixeira will take $1.5 million for Bud. The same $1.5 million that they offered to Kell Brook, Teixeira will take for $1.5 million to fight Bud. $1.5 million for the WBO belt against a guy that he has to fight because he's the WBO belt holder too. He can immediately come up there and demand that fight. Why wouldn't he do that? At the very least, do that. And you can still come down to 147, but waiting around 2 years for Errol, dude, he can have Jermall in July. Dog, you can have, hold on. What is this? Yeah. May, June. He could have in May or June. Because Teixeira next. Get Teixeira next. And then right after that, early part of next year, shit, there might even be a crowd by then for Jermell Charlo, Terence Crawford. There might even be a crowd. And that's a standalone pay-per-view, dog. That's a standalone. But it would be nice to get another good, get another good card along with that, man. Kane the Bad Guy said the mainstream media went into full attack mode on both Charlos the minute the pay-per-view was announced and humiliated themselves. I'm glad that they did. There's a lot of exposure going on around here during this Corona time. Corona's been hard on fakes and phonies, homie. Real hard on fakes and phonies. You guys were promoting trash-ass fights all year. And you get a double pay-per-view fight with two of the best fighters in the world. And all you can talk about is the cost. Like you have a problem paying $75. And truthfully, as if somebody that could pay $20 a month for DAZN, $10 a month for a copy of The Athletic, and $5 a month for ESPN every month, all year, along with their cable bill, that the notion that they can afford $75 is ridiculous. Okay? It's ridiculous. Anybody that is actually reading the shit that they're writing can afford that $75 if they wanted to. Because if they didn't have $75, they wouldn't be reading The Ring. They wouldn't be doing that. They wouldn't be watching all these other fights that you got to have network, that you have to have access to. But most importantly, they're all going to watch. They're all going to watch. All of those fans are going to watch. Everybody saw that fight. You ever notice how that's kind of interesting? Like soon when they start attacking people, attacking Jermell Charlo and Jermall Charlo for their pay-per-view numbers, everybody is going to have seen the fight. Everybody is going to have seen the fight. By hook or crook, everybody saw it. Do you know anybody that didn't see that fight? Or do you know people that just didn't pay for that fight? Right? But they saw the fight. So the issue is not whether or not people want to see these guys fight, but how do you guys get people to be honest enough to pay for it? Well, first thing you do is stop complaining about how much the shit costs and trying to encourage people to steal the fight by questioning the value of it. Because everybody knows that you can get the fight by illegally streaming. When these media people complain about the price, they're pretty much inviting people to stream the fight, to illegally stream the fight. Stop being dickheads and start telling people that this is a damn good fight. But see, what happened was in this case, the fight was so good, the fights were so good that everybody, because they actually saw it, know now that it was worth the money. I haven't heard anybody say it wasn't worth the money. But you should have known it was worth the money going into it because those were two fights that were both better than a lot of pay-per-views that you can name. Jermall Charlo versus Sergey Derevyanchenko by itself was a better pay by itself. That first half of that card, right, which was like Omar Figueroa and Jermall Charlo, Sergey Derevyanchenko, if that was a pay-per-view by itself, was a better pay-per-view than Terence Crawford versus Kell Brook. It was a better pay-per-view than Gennady Golovkin. What was that Gennady Golovkin pay-per-view he did? Like against Curtis Stevenson or some shit like that. It's better than that. It's better than Terence Crawford, Victor Postol. It's better than what the UK. It's better than that UK pay-per-view of Dillian White and Alexander Povetkin. You guys, that shit was pay-per-view. Dillian White and Alexander Povetkin was pay-per-view. That trash ass fight. Jermall Charlo versus Deverenchenko was better than that. I never heard any of those guys complaining about the cost of those other pay-per-views. They only complain about the cost of pay-per-views for the PBC. It's the only time. And I'm telling you, it's them pretty much suggesting to people by de facto recommending that people illegally stream the fight. Because it's a bad review of the cost. At least that's my take on it. And I think it's reprehensible. Because if you're trying to grow the sport of boxing, why are you shitting on that platform? I paid for inadvertently. I actually paid to see something that I didn't see and I didn't ask for on DAZN. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. somehow was allowed to fight in Mexico, despite the fact I could have sworn his ass was suspended in Nevada. Didn't DAZN put on a fight by a suspended fighter a fighter that was suspended in Nevada in a joke ass fight, and before the fight was an exhibition with somebody older, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. I paid for that shit. However you want to, apportion the percentage of money that I pay to that fight specifically, it's at least $1. Because I only get one fight a month on DAZN I'm interested in. So, God dog, man, how much did I pay for that fight? I didn't ask for it. I paid for it. Do you hear Chris Mannix saying, oh, man, these people that signed up, to pay $100 for this year are not going to be happy that Julio Cesar Chavez and Senior and Junior are part of the programming that they paid for? I would rather pay $75 for that than pay $10 for that crap any day of the week. Because what else is there going to be on DAZN this month? Nothing. What was on there last month that we wanted to see? Dillian White, but yes, the $20 that I paid or whatever it was last month, it was definitely worth me watching Dillian White get knocked the fuck out. However, note that I did pay, because that's the only shit that I watched that month on DAZN. I did pay the same amount in pay-per-view for that than people in the UK paid for pay-per-view. And this month, what would it have been? It would have been Dorticos and Bradis and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. quitting for the second fight in a row. Even though he was fighting under suspension in Nevada for the second fight in a row. I paid for that. And I don't hear jack shit out of Chris Mannix or anybody else complaining about that shit I paid for. But oh no, $75 for Sergey Deverenchenko and Jermall Charlo and Jermell Charlo, Jason Rosario, Daniel Roman, Luis Nery, Brandon Figueroa, all of who are in competitive fights. And I was crazy to pay for that. But you expect me to think you guys are being serious when you were critiquing the cost? That's fucking ridiculous. Yes, I feel way better about the $75 that I paid than the $100 I paid for DAZN this year. That shit is ridiculous. And I'm going to feel the same way probably about Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz, because it's going to be a damn good fight. William Ward said, only because I'm going to be happy to see him get his ass knocked out. Let me be straight with you. Fannon, tell to stop all the BS and tell Andre, Canelo, and GGG to step up to the plate. Right now, fuck Demetrius Andrade. I don't care. Fuck Gennady Golovkin. I really don't care. Canelo Alvarez needs to step up to the plate. He's the guy that's supposed to be the man. Demetrius Andrade ain't fought nobody. And Gennady Golovkin lost to Canelo Alvarez. And Canelo Alvarez is the guy that everybody's saying is number one pound for pound. And Canelo's been ducking this dude for 5-6 years now. Oh, he's been ducking this dude 6 years. And he just got a paycheck demotion over there on DAZN if he accepted it. Nah, dog, you need to go ahead and fight it. He need to go ahead and fight. Canelo Alvarez needs to fight Jermell Charlo. Period. He said he whipped Danny. Great. So what if he whipped? Dude, Daniel Jacobs is getting knocked the fuck out by Jermall Charlo. Knocked the fuck out. Gennady Golovkin is getting beat up by Jermall Charlo, but they're not going to fight him. They're not going to fight him. They don't want to fight him because people have been acting like, who have you fought? Who have you fight? I don't have to fight you. Nobody fought you. I don't have to fight you because nobody else fought you. Who has he beat? You know, all that who has he beat stuff? You know that line you guys desperately cling to? When all else fails, cling to that. Who is he beat? And when you say who is he beaten? Oh, he was nobody. All right, so that's your go-to with everybody. Well, it doesn't go anymore. It doesn't go anymore because he beat Sergey Deverenchenko. Period. But back to Terence Crawford, man. I think I got all the super chats. Yes. Oh, no. General Squirrel said, so what you saying is Mannix is a biatch, Fannon? Chris Mannix, I can't say whether he is a biatch or not, but I will say that he is he seems to be a bit hypocritical to me. Bit of a hypocrite. And he seemed like he threatens the PBC because they don't have a functional relationship with the press, which is why the PBC is having a hard time connecting with the masses. But really, what he's doing is he's just saying that they're having a hard time connecting with the masses because that's not true. Because everybody's watching these PBC fights. And they're outperforming everybody else. And if you're going to say that about the PBC, then you got to say that about DAZN. You know, the people that are paying you. So it's really a massive conflict of interest because he's getting paid by the competition, but he never really lets that be known when he's masquerading, being an unbiased journalist, when he works for Sports Illustrated, when he's on the payroll of DAZN. You know what I mean? Like you're supposed to be able to pick up the magazine Sports Illustrated, and here's an article from Chris Mannix, who is a head boxing writer, or whatever his title is for Sports Illustrated. And this is what he thinks about who the best fighters are and what fights I should watch. But little do you know that he's also a paid employee or 1099 or whatever it is. He's got a contractual relationship, a fiduciary relationship with DAZN. Just like when people are saying who their top 10 pound for pound is with ESPN. Dude, the fighters that are in the list fight and are paid by ESPN. So the fact that it's ESPN's list should throw it out immediately when they have top-ranked fighters or fighters that are it's primarily top-ranked fighters that fight on ESPN. Or they don't list people that fight on rival networks. Like, should we really be surprised that Jermell Charlo, Gervonta Davis, Gary Russell Jr., Caleb Plant, Jermall Charlo, and Jermell Charlo are all left off ESPN's pound for pound list, but yet fighters that fight on ESPN find their way on there, like Monster Inoue and Juan Carlos Estrada, right? Who I do believe fights on ESPN too. Josh Taylor is going to wind up on there. Terence Crawford winds up on there. Vasily Lomachenko winds up on there. You know, just so happens that the largest chunk of the pay-per-view of the people that are on ESPN's pound for pound list just so happen to fight on ESPN, right? Or Ring Magazine, their number one guy in middleweight and all that just so happens to have a contract with the owner of Ring Magazine. Like, they just so happens that they're owned by the PBC's, one of the PBC's chief rivals, and a guy that has sued them for violations of the Ali Act and violations of the Sherman Act, right? Who was actively in a verbal war with them and lost a good chunk of valuable fighters to them. They just miraculously, they find a way not to have those same fighters listed as their top fighters in their rankings. Real coincidental. Couldn't be that there was a conflict of interest there, even though there is clearly a conflict of interest in both scenarios. But yet, they're unbiased, neutral observers of the fact, right? Unbiased, neutral observers of the fact who just happen to be getting paid for what they do by people who are getting paid off of what they're saying. But oh no, they're just some old buddies of yours sitting at the bar, having a drink and a cigar, talking about boxing, giving you the 100% real. Yeah, that's what the boxing media is doing. That's what the boxing media is doing. Sure, that's what they're doing. Sure, that's what they're doing. They don't know a good boxer when they see one. They think that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is just some anomaly that just happens every blue moon. No, the anomaly is that somebody like Floyd gets through all the bullshit that those people lay out and he gets to the top. If they eliminated all that bullshit, a bunch of these fighters would be at the top. A bunch of them would, like Jermell Charlo. That man just deconstructed that dude. He beat him every way. Every way. The game plan is crazy. The coach is crazy. Dude, Derrick James got 6 of the belts that these people consider to be legitimate. Derrick James has 6 of them. 6. They think the ring is legit. He's got the ring with Jermell. He's got the IBF. He's got the WBA and the WBC all at 154, and he's got the IBF and the WBC at 147. The man's got 2 whole divisions locked down, but the black athlete is in decline. Somehow. Hey, Paulie, what happened to Sergey Derenchenko in the domination of the superior species? The fuck happened to that? I don't know. It wasn't there, huh? Oh, I get it. They ducking Jermell Charlo like it ain't nobody's business. Ducking like it ain't nobody's business. But you ain't got money though for ESPN. But then here's the other thing about Terence Crawford. Dog, they ain't got the money. ESPN doesn't have the money to pay Kell Brook and pick up that fight outright. That, my friend, is ridiculous. That shit is ridiculous. They don't. The reason, man, Dark Truth, man, much love in that super chat. I mean, for joining, man. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I said, Jermell, you need to be on Lions Only Man Down promotion team. No, I don't. I'm just telling you the truth. This is what happened this weekend. This is the ramifications of this weekend. Jermell Charlo is a top 3 pound for pound fighter. He is not tested positive for performance enhancing drugs. He had one loss, one controversial loss that he offended, that he defended, right? That he defended, that he what do you call it? Excuse me. That he avenged to become a 2-time WBC champion. And then he beat and unified all 3 belts in a devastating fashion. And is now, because of how he did it, cleared out the entire 154-pound division. That is better than Canelo. That is better than anything Vasily Lomachenko has done. Vasily Lomachenko's done it in 3 weight divisions. All right, he did it he had championships in one, but he's on that list. Yeah, he's on the list. But he didn't avenge his loss to Orlando Salido. He didn't avenge his loss. Didn't come in and knock out Orlando Salido to get the belt back. And then in the very next fight, unify all the belts, or at least 3 of the 4 belts. Jermell Charlo did not test positive for Clenbuterol like Canelo Alvarez, and he didn't duck Jermell Charlo. He's not on record for ducking anybody. And he did everything in that boxing ring. Everything in that boxing ring. Everything. His defense, outstanding defense. Did you see whenever he got up against the ropes and it looked like Jason Rosario was about to really start going off on the ropes, just slipped inside of him. Grabbed his arm, pulled him close, right? Rolled him to the side, moved off. Jason Rosario couldn't get anything done. Completely shut down Jason Rosario defensively. Defensively shut him down. Ring generalship. Dog, he made that dude. Well, he had Jason Rosario on a yo-yo. Had him on a yo-yo. Couldn't cut off Jason Rosario, who could effectively cut off the ring on all the other fighters I've seen fight. Who is effective at cutting off the ring, couldn't cut off the ring. Jermell Charlo when Jermell Charlo wanted to push him back, he pushed him back. He completely dictated the pace of the fight. If he wanted to mix it up, he mixed it up. If he didn't, he moved away, couldn't get touched. So that's defense, ring generalship, effective aggressiveness. Are you crazy? He murdered, man. He destroyed that dude's body. Destroyed that dude's body. The body shots, people weren't even talking. They weren't even really talking about it. Not only was he knocking the dude down to the head, he was wearing that dude's body out. Dude fought him on the inside, fought him at mid-range, fought him from the outside with the jab, fought him off the ropes, beat him off the ropes. Effective aggressiveness, clean, effective punching. He knocked him out with a jab to the body. How much more clean and effective can you get? Just a monster, dude. Perfect masterclass performance in every of the 4 scoring criteria in boxing. For all 3 belts, when it mattered. When it mattered on the big stage, on pay-per-view. Come on, man. What is Monster? And Monster went away. Yeah, Monster went away way better than that. Yeah. Juan Carlos Estrada. Yeah, way better than that. Yeah, he's way better than Jermell. No. Who is he? But who has Jermell fought, though? Everybody. He just bodied everybody at 154. Bodied everybody at 154. Yes, he deserves to be on there. But guess what? He deserved to be on there last year. But hey, man, maybe if Errol loses, then they'll slide Jermell up into that spot, the two black men spot that they keep on those things. How can you say that's not one of the best fighters in the world? How many fighters have you seen have a better fight than that on the big stage? He's not like Floyd Mayweather either. That's another thing about him. He's just himself. Jermell does not fight like Floyd Mayweather Jr. He don't fight like anybody else. He ain't trying to be slick with a shoulder roll, impersonating Floyd. He can fight inside, outside. He's getting knockouts. His knockout streak is, I mean, obviously he didn't knock out Tony Harrison in the first fight, but he's clipping dudes. He can outbox. Come on, man. Come on. But he was that way last week. Why weren't they saying it last week? Why wasn't anybody saying that shit last week? Nobody was saying that last week. I've been saying that these dudes are pound for pound for a minute now. Gary Russell 2, and Gervonta Tank Davis. But especially Gary Russell. If you watch how Gary Russell Jr. fought and handled Jojo Diaz like that. Jojo Diaz went up in weight and is one of the top dudes at 130, but got just easily worked. Easily worked by Gary Russell Jr. Easily worked by a man much, much smaller than him. King Tug worked by a dude. He can't punch, but he worked too. Got a split decision against Vasily Lomachenko, a guy, the only other guy to do it, the only guy to get a split decision off of Vasily Lomachenko and knock him down, right? Other than the win that came from Lomachenko, from Orlando Salido, but somehow he ain't in there either. Come on, man. It's time to start giving these black fighters their credit, man. Just straight up. It's time. And you should have said it. And to say that, to doubt that pay-per-view was worth the money is a perfect example of it. Ain't no fucking way. No way that if you would have had Vasily Lomachenko, and God, who's the top ranked fighter? And Jose Ramirez fighting on the same card, right? Jose Ramirez is fighting Josh Taylor, and Teofimo Lopez is fighting Vasily Lomachenko's fighting Teofimo Lopez, and Josh Taylor's fighting Jose Ramirez, that if they charge $75 for that they would say, oh, it's not worth the money. Oh, it's not worth the money. Or even if it was Jose Ramirez, if you said, oh, well, no, that would be 3 belts and then 4 belts, all in the same card. Oh, not like this, where it's just 4 belts in 2 fights, right? No, it would be, but it's 2 unification fights. Dog, you wouldn't be questioning whether it was worth $75. And you wouldn't be getting the Luis Nery on that card or Daniel Roman. Man, please. Y'all knew how much that fight was worth, man. John Page said Jermall Devranchenko post to been a unification match because Devranchenko was supposed to have come for that fight in the IBF. Oh, supposed to be for the IBF champion. Well, yeah, because people say that he should have been the IBF champion. So that really should have been a unification fight. Good point, John Page. Excellent point. Thank you. Much love in that super chat. FTP Chavez Jr. What is that? What is FTP? F that. I could think of a lot of shit that would go with FTP. Like F that, Uzi Chavez Jr. I'll take it like that because, dog, that dude is just like fucking ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Rosario Hurd, that would be a great fight, no doubt about it. That ain't even random. That's right. That's connected to the subject matter. Oh, where's Drink More Water? Nah, they pick and choose when to be critical. How you like that fight? Drink More Water. Bud, are you gonna fight Jermell? Is Bud, you gonna fight Jermell? What's up, Drink More Water? We know you're Bud. Fess up. You know that's the best fight you can have, man. You know that's the best path for Bud. Let me check these likes, man. We have like 700. We've had like over 750 people in this chat for a minute, and I guarantee I don't have 300. Because y'all some freeloaders in this bitch. Y'all some freeloaders. You know how it goes, man. The super chats pay for the chat. The members pay for the channel. And the rest of y'all are supposed to be bashing the like button. Haters, hit the dislike button. But don't be in here hating, sneak dissing on your videos and you didn't hit the thumb down button, okay? Y'all stealing my content. Give me the thumbs down lesson, then steal my content. Okay? Because y'all know y'all didn't come up with this idea. And when y'all start running with it, see, I said it so y'all won't run with it, but you know I'm telling the truth. That's the best path forward for Jermell. That is the best path forward for Terence Crawford. And that is something spectacular for the fans. Y'all need to ask for it. You need to make that fight, dog. You need to make that fight. That is a classic fight. That is a classic Black American fight. Classic Black American fight. That is some Thomas Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard type shit right there, man. That's some Thomas Hearns, Thomas the Hitman Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard stuff right there. Okay? That's some Aaron Pryor versus Tommy Hearns type stuff, even though that fight didn't happen in real life. Okay? We can't sit around and wait for these boxing promoters to come up with the idea that, let's say let's fight who this guy that's on the mandatory, or this is the fight that the fights really want. They really want Terence Crawford versus Alexander Boost Putin. No, they don't, man. We'll tell you now that we got YouTube, now that we got channels where they can tell you what fights they want to see. Fuck your matchmakers, okay? Listen to the fight fans. Let us matchmake for a second here, man. Okay? That's the match you need to make. I don't care about how it's going to affect the books of Top Rank if Bud gets his ass whooped. He ain't going to get hurt too bad because he can go back down to 147. All he got to do is survive. Okay? Jermell ain't going to have no problem taking that fight whatsoever because Jermell got no conscience. Okay? Jermell will try to murder Terence Crawford in that fucking ring. Okay? For sure. All right? Ain't gonna be no feeling out there. There might be a little bit of a feeling out period, but believe you me, that shit ain't going 12 rounds, homie. Hey, by the way, Jupiter B, you don't have to go off what I said about the network hiccups. Go to IFL TV and look at the video that Bob Arum did when he was talking about Josh Taylor and Abu Puck Puck. Josh Taylor versus Abu Puck Puck, and how he hated that fight. That video, that's when they talked about the network not wanting to pay for Kell Brook over their Sky or BT. Because Sky and BT don't want to pay for any of those Top Rank fights. They're not trying to air any of them. Presumably because it's in the middle of the, morning, like it's early morning there. So, how much viewership are they going to get for those fights? So, but, be willing to pay something for those fights, right, to add to the pot because they're great fights. But, that's how they feel, man. I said, I've been going through the comments on the pre-pay-per-view videos, and I've seen people repeatedly talking about the pay-per-view price. This pandemic isn't anything new. Exactly, dude. They're complaining about the price while they're asking you to pay $10 subscriptions per month for their fucking news articles. I'm like, dude, Chris Mattis, the dudes from that write on The Athletic. Isn't Mike Coppinger on The Athletic? And Chris Mannix on Sports Illustrated? Shit, it costs money, dog. It costs money. That shit costs money to read The Athletic. They want me to read for $10 a month to read their dumb shit, but they don't think they want to discourage me for paying $75 for one of the best fight cards of the year. And they didn't spend any time talking about how good the card is. Like, yeah, dude, this is a very good price. Like, dude, if somebody sold you a used Rolex for $100 and all you got to do is replace the springs and the shit's now worth $2,000, why the fuck would you complain about it? Like, nah, yeah, they sold it to you for $100, but shit, that's a fucking deal. Yeah, I know you wanted to pay, I know you wanted a $20 Timex, but shit, spit the $100 out, fucking put the fucking spring in the shit, and then sell it. And if you want to sell it, you're going to make at least $1,000 off of it because used it'll sell for $2,000. Well, shit, if you don't want, dude, buy this because this is a better fight card with way better boxing than you're going to get in this short amount of time than you've seen in a very long time, or you're likely to see for a while. But they're not going to make that pitch. They don't want to make that pitch. But if it was an ESPN pay-per-view, you better believe they would have sold that shit. They would have been talking about it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. That's why when people never shit on ESPN and those guys never shit on the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury pay-per-view. You never heard them shit on Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder pay-per-view. And you didn't hear him take a shit on Deontay Wilder versus Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz, really. Top Rank came out and defended it. Was like, oh, no, that wasn't, because they gave some low, ridiculous number. And they were like, nah. It was much closer to 250,000 pay-per-views is much closer to what it was. Because they weren't going to shit on Deontay Wilder on the lead-in, during the lead-in fight or after the lead-in fight to a pay-per-view that was going to get aired on their channel. They're just, this boxing media, the way they cover this stuff is just ridiculous. No, it's not what, Jupiter B? No, it's not what? Jupiter B, there you go. I want Spence versus Bud. All Bud got to do is take Porter out and remove him from the list. Bud is he is just as cheap with Charlo. His price just went up, if we honest. Don't listen to Fannon, Bud. Fuck what you talking about, Jupiter B. All of that is bullshit. You started it with what you want. Yeah, I want Spence Bud too, but I'm not getting it. I want to hit the fucking lottery, but I'm not getting it. I got to go to work. Sorry. You know what I mean? I want a lot of shit. You not getting it, Jupiter B. You not getting it, Bud and Spence, until 2022. You're not getting it. So fuck, no disrespect, but fuck what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean that's what you want? You don't want, you may want that. Bud wants that. Shit, I want that. Let's make it happen. But it ain't gonna happen. Because Bud's got Danny Garcia, and then Bud's got Sean Porter again. Then Bud's got Keith Thurman. Then Errol's got Keith Thurman. And what does Terence Crawford got? Nothing. He ain't got Kell Brook yet. Maybe that'll happen, but he ain't got Kell Brook. He ain't got, who's he got, an Egas Kalvanakis rematch? Fuck out of here. Literally the best option he has is Jermell Charlo. What's the problem? You move up. When you can't fight, all the other champions won't fight you in your weight class, you move up. And if you can fight the guy with 3 belts in the weight class above, you move up and you take the fight. And he's got a shot at Teixeira for a championship fight. Nah, man. And Bud just ain't just as cheap, dog. Charlo got 3 belts. Charlo got 3 belts. Trey. 4 if you count the ring. Fosies. He got Fosies. 4 belts, dog. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 belts, including that trash-ass ring. 4. The money's there, dog. He's the Ring Magazine champion. He's the ESPN. He's got to be top 10 pound for pound on ESPN now. Come on, man. Keith Thurman, Sean Porter was coming off of a loss. He wasn't coming off of a win with 3 championships. Keith Thurman was coming off of a loss. He wasn't coming off of a career-defining win to unify 3 belts and clear out a division. Keith Thurman was coming off of a loss. Gary Russell Jr. is too small, right? He's 126. None of that applies to your boy. Jermell Charlo. Lions only. Dog, Bud got to get with the lion. Got to get with the lion. That's the bet. It's the best bet. It's your biggest payday. I'll pay $75 for that. For sure. People will pay $75 for that. All you got to do is go ahead and let them, like Bob Arum said, it'll be 5 minutes to make the fight. Who's going to pay for it? Fox. Fox can pay for that. Fox can pay for that. Let Fox throw it in there, man. Man, y'all don't want to see great fights. Y'all don't want to see great fights. Jupiter B, you don't want that man to shine. You don't, you see, I see that's some Spence fans. Spence fans don't want him to outshine Arrow. That's what it is. You don't want him to outshine Arrow by getting all 4 of them belts at 154. That's strategic, dog. Steve J, dog. That ain't right. For now, you just trying to get him killed. No, I'm not. That is the best fight. Like Gennady Golovkin should have fought. Man, Gennady Golovkin could have made his whole career if he just would have moved up in weight and fought Andre Ward. If he would have beat Andre Ward at 168 pounds, dude, he would have been the man. And that was a reasonable fight to be made. But Gennady Golovkin didn't have the courage. He did not have the mental, he didn't have the mental fortitude or the cojones to get in there with a fight 1 weight class up. Come on, man. That's like saying if Errol Spence Jr. is at 154 and Canelo got 3 belts, he shouldn't fight Canelo. I mean, come on, man. If Errol Spence can fight Canelo, why can't Terence Crawford fight Jermell Charlo? Come on, man. Come on. Y'all ain't right, y'all. See, y'all letting these networks get in your head, man. Tell you what these good fights are, man. That's that good fight right there. Hey, Dougie Fisher going to be mad about putting Charlo in the pound for pound, but he got the ring belt. What can you say? Yeah, what can you say? He don't deserve it? You got to put some of that. You got to figure out who they can put out, though. Who's the darkest chocolate drop on that list? Whoever that is going to get out of there. Okay, got to go. It's probably going to be a Mexican. Some Mexican. He's going to put some Mexican. Don't worry, they'll put some Mexican up off the list. Move him on out to the side. But he'll be right back. Because, you know, they're waiting for Chocolatito to get back in there. He's done it in 9 weight classes. You move up. Gravy Davey in the building said Jermell stepped out the ring looking like a New York jeweler. Hey, dog, them black trunks were the shit. Who had the black trunks? Was that Jermell or Jermall? Man, them trunks were the shit. Them black, like, look like diamonds. Hey, man, Jermell's the man, dog. SOG would have mauled him. Hey, man, let the mauling begin. But Terence Crawford is better than that. Dude, come on, man. Terence Crawford, Kell Brook moved all the way up to fight Gennady Golovkin and was winning that fight. Jermell Charlo, he's better than Kell Brook, man. He can do it. And it's just 1 weight class. It's not even all the way up to 160. I don't know why y'all protecting Bud like that. I don't get it, dog. Why y'all protecting Bud like that, man? Y'all must think, but then guess what? Jermell's better pound for pound then. There you go. That's it. Jermell's the better fighter then. Steve J, I am not trolling. That is the best fight that can be made. I am not trolling. That is the fight that can get Terence Crawford on the top of everybody's pound for pound list. He goes straight to the Hall of Fame. It's only 1 weight division. It's 1 weight division. What is going on here, dog? I can't believe y'all don't have faith in Bud. I can't believe y'all. And I can't believe y'all think I'm trolling just because I'm smiling. Like, I freely admit that it would be a hard road for Bud. But shit, what is better? There's no better option. Steve J said, I'm with you, OG. I'll watch Mel kill him. Bro. He said, shut the fuck up, entertainer for me. He said, watch Mel kill, bro. Oh, my God, man. Shut the fuck. Oh, my God. Oh, Lord. I don't believe that y'all can't believe, dog, that this guy, white, y'all don't have faith in black fighters. Manny Pacquiao could do it. Manny Pacquiao moved up from 135. He was like 101 pounds, man. And he's at 147. Come on. Come on. Floyd fought Canelo. Dude, Floyd fought Canelo. Tell Jermell to go down to 150, 53. See if Jermell can come down to 153. You saw Jermell weighed 153.8. Make it a catch weight. Make it a catch weight. If he needs a catch weight, make it a catch weight. I'm telling y'all wrong for this, man. Y'all, all y'all attitudes is fucked up. All y'all are, I cannot believe that I've got like 750 Terence Crawford protectors up in here, man. When I am trying to set forward the best path forward for this man in his career, man. Hey, what's going on, Tay-Tay? I could have sworn that I woke up this morning and I was like, this is the best, most brilliant idea for the sport of boxing, at least as it pertains to Terence Crawford. Because you know you're not going to get Canelo Jermell Charlo, right? For now, I want to see somebody dead. Dog, is it like that, really? Dog. Ooh-wee. Yeah, I know. You say you see my sneaky smile, dog. Look, for real. Evander Holyfield went from cruiserweight to 100. It could happen, man. Yes, it's funny because I'm laughing because none of y'all believe he can do it. Like, y'all just straight out and out do not believe in Bud. Like, that's what is amazing me. None of y'all believe in Bud. It's just one weight class. He's at 147. He's not at 135. He's not at 120. He's not at 126. It's not like I'm saying, hey, Teofimo Lopez, go fight Gary. I'm not saying Teofimo Lopez needs to fight Jermell. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Vasily Lomachenko needs to fight Jermell. I'm saying Terence Bud Crawford needs to fight Jermell. This is the guy everybody's saying is a pound-for-pound type guy. If he's the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world, if he's better, if he'll dog walk Errol Spence, then he should be able to fight Jermell. What's the problem? The problem is this. All of y'all's bullshit flies up against the fucking wall when Jermell's name come out. And that really tells me what you think about Bud. That's what's coming out here. That's what's coming out here. Y'all don't believe in Bud. And now we know. I don't want to hear none of y'all talking about Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford's a 50-50 fight. Y'all don't believe it. Because if Errol Spence Jr. was going to go fight Jermell, people would not be talking like this. People would not be talking like this if Errol Spence was moving up to fight Jermell, because people have been saying that for a minute. Oh, who would win, Errol or Jermell? Oh, well, you know, Errol spars Jermell and gives Jermell the business. That's what people say. That's what they were saying last year, this year, all the way up until Errol Spence Jr.'s car accident. Errol Spence could fight Jermell. That's what people, nobody's thinking that's crazy. You think it's crazy for Errol Spence to fight Jermell? Y'all thinking, y'all hypocritical motherfuckers think that Errol Spence Jr. would be crazy to fight Jermell? If I was like, oh, Errol, you've unified at 147, you need to move up and you need to go fight Jermell at 154. Y'all don't believe in Bud, dog. Y'all don't believe in Bud. And this exposes what your lack of belief in Bud. Because you shouldn't be talking about Bud fighting Errol in. You shouldn't be talking about it. Because Errol could fight Jermell. That's a makeable fight. I mean, that's a reasonable fight. Regardless of who you think is going to win, dog, you might be, Jermell is too big for Errol, but nobody was saying that shit. Nobody. And y'all were saying Bud's going to walk through Errol. All of y'all, a whole bunch of people, Mayweather Jim, all y'all, I know y'all listening. All y'all was talking about that. How Bud is going to walk through Errol. Then shit, what's wrong with Jermell? What's wrong with Jermell? You niggas don't believe it. You don't believe it. You don't believe that shit you talking about Terence Crawford. And that's the truth. Y'all don't believe that bullshit you talking. You just talking that bullshit because you hating on Errol Spence. Because if you really thought he was the man, you would see that this is the best path for him. But you don't believe that shit, so you say it's bullshit. I'm trying to get him killed. But yet you want Errol Spence to fight Canelo. Fuck up out of here. The math don't work, dog. The math don't work. The math don't work. Steve J said, for 9, Jermell is not Gamboa or Green Beans. No, he is not. He is not. And guess what? Terence Crawford is not Austin Trout. Terence Crawford is not Tony Harrison. Terence Crawford is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, baby. The Nebraska Nightmare. Come on. Come on. He's going to walk through Errol Spence. He's the #1 welterweight. Isn't he? Isn't he the #1 welterweight? What is wrong with the #1 welterweight going to fight the #1 junior super welterweight? What's wrong with that? Nothing. You know ain't nothing wrong with that, but because you're Errol Spence Jr. haters, you can now, no, not Errol Spence Jr. haters, but there's something going on with y'all not believing in Bud. Charlo can fight at super middleweight. Hey, dog, he's not fighting at super middleweight. You guys said that Terence Crawford walks around at 155. He's strong. He's muscular. He is a full 147-pound fighter. That's what you said. If he is a full 147-pounder and he is the best 147-pounder in the world, he should not have any problem whatsoever fighting the best 154-pound fighter in the world. The best 135-pound fighter in the world should not have a problem fighting the best 140-pounder in the world. If you all of that. Now, if you want to admit that you ain't all that you too itsy-bitsy for the weight class, then say that. But don't go saying you the best. Because Jermell's the best. He's in the weight class right above you. And y'all can get it cracking. Y'all ain't friends. Y'all ain't friends. And he ain't got shit else to do. He ain't got to clean his side of the street up because he already pulled out his broom. See, there's a lot of work Errol Spence got to do still to get to a fight where Terence can get undisputed. But hey, it's easy breezy over there at 154. All you got to do is beat Teixeira. And does anybody doubt that he'll beat Teixeira? Anybody out there doubt Bud's going to beat Teixeira? I don't think you do. I don't think you do. I don't think any of you think Teixeira is going to beat Terence Crawford. Because if you do, then I don't want to see Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. Because you think Terence Crawford is a bum. I'm having fun today, dog. I'm having fun today. I'm pushing the narrative. Pushing the narrative. You know what it is. It's the truth, Ruth. Oh, Will said, happy birthday, bud. But Crawford, the best pound for pound, the best Fannon. Fannon, I would pay 75 for Charlo. Crawford any day. There you go. Spoken like a Bud fan. That's what I'm talking about. Much love in that super chat. That's what I'm talking about. Represent your dude. Don't be acting like that dude. That's what I'm talking about, oh Will. I'm trying to rep. Man, y'all. Jermell is powerful. Joshua Tabak said, Jermell is powerful. Love to see if Crawford can take his punch. Harrison, a slick boxer, is the only one who gave Jermell a run for it. Isn't Crawford a great pure boxer? Make this great fight. Yes, this is a great fight. This is the fight right there. Jupiter B said, Fannon, you are diabolical. But you ain't wrong. Oh, no, I am not wrong. Oh, no, I am not. I am not wrong. Dare to be great, bud. They will find the money for that. I promise you, the money is there for that. I would pay pay-per-view for sure. And if he beat Jermell Charlo, the pay-per-view for Errol Spence Jr., Terence Crawford would do 1.5 million pay-per-views. 1.5 million pay-per-views. If Terence Crawford could beat Jermell Charlo at 154, Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford at 154 for all the belts, 1.5 million pay-per-view, baby. Bigger than Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. Bigger than Canelo Alvarez, Gennady Golovkin. Everybody would watch that fight because it is without a doubt legendary style. Legendary style. For all the belts, come on, man. Come on, man. See, TJ Berry. This is why I say, and I don't mean any disrespect by this. I do not. He truly fought everybody that's on his resume. He truly fought all of them. Hold on. Drink more water. Nice try. No cigar. Nice try, but no cigar. Because Jermall is at 160 pounds and Beterbiev and Bivol are at 175. See how you smart Negroes try to do? See how you smart Negroes try to get? You try to throw there an extra weight class in between the two? Extra weight class there, fella. No. It would be like Jermall moving up to fight David Benavidez, which makes sense and is a doable fight. Jermall Charlo versus Caleb Plant is not an unreasonable fight. Those are good fights, but that is from 160 to 168. But you tried to get cute and go from 160 to 175. I am not asking if what you were trying to do is correct, Mr. Sneaky. I'm not asking Terence Crawford to move up and fight Jermall. I didn't say go from 147 to 160. That would be Jermall against Terence Crawford. And I would not ask for that because we all know how that would go. Okay? Because we all know how that would go. 4 rounds before crippling begins. Okay? We know That shit is not popping off. But Jermell and Terence, come on, man. I don't understand why y'all hate so much. Why don't you want this black man to shine? Y'all got to let me know, dog, because I thought I was in a community of like-minded boxing fans that wanted to see the advancement of black people, kind of like the National Association for the Advancement of Black Fighters. Some shit like that was popping off around here. But we don't want that, dog. We got some Uncle Ruckuses running around this joint talking about, no, he's too small. We don't want to make Jermall a superstar. We don't want to make Terence Crawford that big a star. We don't want to have him do some truly, truly amazing things. We want to see more Igis Kalvinakis. We want to see more. I'm waiting to see this Bruce Putin fight or Carlos Adames. That's what I'm waiting for. As if you guys have something better for Bud to do. Drink more water. You got something better for Bud to do that can happen. Okay, that can happen. that has not already been counted out. Okay, you got something else not named Errol Spence for him to do, not named Manny Pacquiao. You want to wait him around for him to fight Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez? Is that what we're waiting for? We want to wait around for that? Dog, I have bodied the entire Terence Crawford fan base today. Let me let you know that. That was a body of the entire Terence Crawford fan base. If you're a Terence Crawford fan and you say you think he is the best welterweight in the world and that he would beat Sean Porter and he would beat Errol Spence and he would beat Manny Pacquiao and he would beat Keith Thurman and he would beat Gary Russell Jr. and he would beat Ray Robinson. If you say that he is too small for the Jermell Charlo, you are a lie one way or another. You are a lie one way or the other because they both can't be true. Because Danny Garcia already said he wants to go to 154. Danny Garcia already wants to smoke at 154. Errol Spence knows he's going to 154 at a point. Canelo's been at 154. Come on, man. There ain't no excuse for Bud not doing it because he doesn't have a good fight. Manny Pacquiao fight's not happening. He needs Manny and Spence Garcia first. He's not getting any of those. Lamahad, Brown, look, you know what I need? I need my wife to hit the lotto and then turn into a polygamist. That's what I need. I need my wife to hit $1 billion lottery and then magically turn into a polygamist. Okay, so that we can go start a farm somewhere off in fucking Brazil. Okay, fuck out of here with security and all that shit. That's what I need. Okay, where I can be worshipped by a sea of Lilliputians. Okay, that's what the fuck I need. But I ain't getting it. Okay, I ain't getting it. All right, I ain't getting it. And since I ain't getting it, I'm gonna live with the lovely life that I have and take this wonderful fight between Jermell Charlo and Terence Crawford and be thankful for now. You so blunt, OG. You definitely in there. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, dog. That's just what it is, man. But look, much love to everybody in this chat, everybody in the super chat. Thank you guys for coming today. Fanon Goldie Mickens displaying his silver tongue for us to see. I'm just trying to told you. What's the excuse for Porter again? Dog, I ain't talking about Porter. Porter coming off a loss. Sean Porter doesn't have a shot, doesn't have the WBO belt, and can't make Teixeira fight him. Bud got that WBO belt off of Jeff Horn, and he's going to get the WBO belt off Teixeira sooner or later anyway. Make it happen, dog. Miguel Roby said, thank you. Great talk, brother. Hey, man, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, man. I love that I can talk to you guys about this boxing. Make sure you go check out KQKC coming up next. And with that, I'm out. Holler at you. Peace.